let's get right into it. I'm excited.
Alrighty, well let's load this replay and start off Group A strong here. So it's going to be on Catallena LE. Um, what are your thoughts on this map, Max? It's a three player or two player map, three different spawns. And you can pull off some pretty aggressive strats on this map.
That's exactly what I'm thinking is going to happen. I know that I've seen Tang playing this map a couple of times, and he really does like his roaches on this map, um, which is just kind of the nature of Tang, I guess. But he really does enjoy his roach builds and that sort of thing. And the other thing is that this map really does set up the Terran for a lot of. I very rarely see a Terran go for this super strong late game or something like that. Terrans really like to use this is kind of like an aggressive map in my opinion, or at least that's what I've seen mainly out of these two players. That really aggressive, those really aggressive builds. So
Right, yeah. And so yeah, let's go ahead and introduce the players. In the middle left, we have our Terran player, MrLando.
Game paused.
And I just paused the game on accident.
and in the bottom right we have our Zerg player. He is Tang.
And I just realized that we do not have our in-game observer interface here, so let's go ahead and get that going.
That's stirred up. So just right off the bat, we have the early scout coming out from Lando. He's heading out to, unfortunately, to the wrong position, but we see the standard racks coming down. He did take his gas, so we're probably gonna have a Reaper opener just right off the bat, and we do have Tang going for a pull first, which is just so tangy. I'm expecting to see probably a hatchery here in a second. I think he's gonna go for the 15-16. But maybe not. Yep, no, so he's sending it right down to get a natural going. And we have the first Reaper that's probably about to come out for MrLando. He is scouting out Tang at the moment.
Yeah, and
actually,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go you, please.
And I was just going to note, I believe that was a gas before racks, so I'm not sure. I think it probably was actually both 12-12, which, yeah, definitely means he is going to go for a Reaper for this early scout, and it looks like he has it. Oh, look, he's actually putting down a bunker at the natural.
Which
so
I think Tang was a little bit aware of this coming because he did actually produce some links. He's got the links coming out. This is just, I think it's going to get shut down. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it just
Goes
gets
right
shut down. Pretty little cheeky strat there from Lando, but it looks like he's just going to go into more of a stable Reaper scout. He's making a second Reaper as well, so.
Oh, we're gonna have two Reapers. Well, this first Reaper is just gonna catch this Ling right out, so that Ling is not gonna have any opportunity to go grab any more additional information. But just based off, we have this Queen coming up, and just on the main, we got a Queen coming up on the main in a few seconds. We got 4 Lings in the mineral line, and we have a Queen at the natural. So I think that this Reaper probably not gonna be able to get in and get anything done, but be able to scout it out, see what's going on. And there is a Ling headed over to MrLando's base, and MrLando has opted for, he's grabbing that, grab that CC first, and then into factory. So this factory actually came second.
Yeah, correct, and it looks like he's probably just going to go into that Hellion play for that map control.
Lost one Reaper.
Yeah, one Reaper does get picked off by Tang there, or by Lando there. Good pick off for Tang. But it does look like, if I'm not mistaken, Lando was able to get the information he needed.
Let's take a look. I want to see how much information he has. So he has an awareness of the gas timing actually on the extractor for the main, and he just poked back in and saw that there's still got another Queen coming out. It's actually going for a pretty limited number of Queens, considering usually when I do these kind of builds, obviously I'm a flat player, so I'm not even going to touch Tang because he knows better than I do. But I usually like to go for a little bit more heavy Queens. But it looks like he actually did grab those gases at his natural, and he's going up to layers. So I'm expecting question. I'm not really sure what I'm expecting. I'm expecting, yeah, probably a roach build, just because it's Tang. But yeah, so he's going to start moving right into roaches. I think he's going to do this build. This is actually a build that Nextlox showed me a little while back, and it's actually a +1 roach build that you delay your third, and you produce like, I don't know, 30-ish roaches at about 10 minutes, and you just send them over to the Terran base and get whatever you can done. But
Yeah,
next, go ahead.
if he does go for that, I mean, MrLando's just now starting to get his wall up at his natural. He does have a couple Hellions here to scout. He's got a little bit of map control now. Tang only has about 4 lings, so he's able to get out here and scout, see if Tang has a third or not, and with that information, he can kind of tell whether or not Tang is going to go for an aggressive 2-base play or more macro-heavy 3-base play. And so
he's definitely going to go. He's definitely going for that 2-base play. He's grabbing the first roaches out right now. I think he's getting roach speed.
Oh yeah,
he's getting
for sure.
+1.
Yeah, and Lando's
The really good response for this one, actually, if you're Lando, is you have to get about 3 or 4 tanks out really early. When you scout this roach aggression, you got to get those tanks out real quick, and you got to get them set up, and you got to get a wall off, and that's you can correctly hold this.
right.
And it looks like
Lando's actually just going for the he's opting to go for the Banshee route instead. Roaches can't shoot up, so
that's not a bad way to go.
yeah, and he does have 1 tank out here as well, so
the only issue with going for a Banshee in this kind of situation, and Nextlex actually talking about it, is that it does keep, because you can see at the third, it does keep the Zerg a little bit pinned down, which is good. But Banshees just don't. They don't. Sometimes they don't do enough damage. You know, there's just a lot of roaches. Roaches are pretty tanky, but
yeah, and
looks like
Banshee
Lando
taking
has
a little bit of a damage from that queen as
there it
well.
is. Oh! Banshee heads out.
Yep, Banshee got about half of its health taken out there by those 2 queens. So good on Tang for being able to deter that little bit of pressure there. And I'm curious to see when whether or not Tang just builds a huge round of roaches here and goes. Still no roaches in the production tab. He's actually going to go for Roach Hydra. He's got a Hydra den in production.
So yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that he doesn't look like he's actually going to go for that aggression. It looks like he was actually just producing a couple of roaches to stay pretty safe against the Hellion and Banshee harass that he was going to deal with. Those Banshees coming in just being really annoying, but we got a Spore right up there, so that'll keep him safe for a while. But it looks like, yeah, he's going to delay it. He's just going to hold off. He grabbed his Hydraless Den. He's grabbing actually +1 Carapace and +1 weapon upgrade. So that's going to be that. And meanwhile, on Lando's side of things, we have +1/+1 coming up. We got his 3rd CC up, and he's grabbed his 2nd factory. No, yeah, sorry, that's still his 1st factory. That was my bad.
Yeah, and I kind of like that that play by Tang, going on the 2 base, making a couple of roaches just to kind of contain Lando there, and perhaps force a overreaction, making Lando maybe think that he was going to go for a huge 2 base all-in, and then he just kind of grabbed his 3rd and put down a Hydra Den, and so I kind of really like that, kind of a little bit of a mind game there.
Yeah, and
doesn't look like Lando really overreacted to it, though. He only made 2 Banshees, which he's able to use to harass. He only has 1 tank, and he's getting his bioproduction going, so...
Lando actually really reacted to this just the right way. I don't know if it was... I didn't actually see exactly how he scouted, but he did know... There could have been a really big aggression going, but he kind of counted on it's not coming, and it paid out pretty well for him, because now he has... He's got pretty decent economy. Got that 4th or that 3rd CC up, and he's got a 3rd base going on. But at the same time, on the tank side of things, we got his 4th coming up, and we got that Roach Hydra kind of rolling. So I'm expecting to start to see a little bit. He's kind of going pretty Hydra heavy actually, which is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, he is, and I think he's I think Tang is doing that. I think he's probably just counting on the fact that there's not very many tanks, and he wants that DPS.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that pans out.
A lot of it has to do with at this point when you do this kind of or Hydra heavy aggression. A lot of it depends upon he's getting those extra evos up right now because he obviously wants to go for Vipers. So a lot of it has to come down to Viper control. Because if you can get really good Viper control, heavy Hydra is just it'll just eat through bio.
All right, and we got a little bit of Banshee harass going on in the main for Tang here. Those Banshees getting some work done. Killed off, I think, 3 probes. How do you build up, or how do you bring up the workers killed?
Oh, that's actually a good question.
Looks like it looks like there was 4 workers killed, according to the overlay. And that last Banshee does get picked off.
Yep.
Wasn't really in a safe place there, so that's unfortunate for MrLando. He no longer has that that harassment and scouting option.
We do have, it looks like he's positing on moving out a little bit here. He looks like he wants to start moving in. He's going to start taking out some of this creep.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for that third. He's not even putting down scans. He's just going to go for it.
He's just going for it.
And those tanks siege up a little bit late.
But that's just, I mean, with this many Hydras, and we need some of that. Oh, if we can get, all right.
Yeah, those are really good blinding clouds there, and that tank isn't really able to do anything. Lando is going to be pushed back by this Roach Hydra army, and he's going to be pushed back to his third here. Oh, and he's just going to call the GG. He just decides there's too much there and calls GG.
Well, that was a really reasonable ending there, because like when it was just. But what I want to say was an awkward timing at all. It was just he hit at a really inopportune time. Like the Vipers were just coming up for Tang, and they were just coming right in there, and he got the right blinding clouds right on those tanks. So
yeah, he had just enough energy on his Vipers there to be able to get something done as well.
So that was well played by both of those players. In a stereotypical Tang fashion, here we have Roach Hydra Viper.